All right, what's next, Blake?
Well, the news is brought to you today by Elite Rides DFW.
Ooh, our good friends at Elite Rides DFW.
Your premier transportation solution. And you looked pretty sweet hopping out of one of their vehicles.
Yeah, it's very convenient. You can go to, or you can just call 1-844-RIDE-DFW. Dan and I got a ride to work from Elite Rides DFW, and I was thinking about this really over the past couple weeks with Cowboy home game, but then with Texas OU a couple weeks ago. You gotta get yourself a ride like Elite Rides DFW. They got a Sprinter, they got a big decked out Suburban, they got the Tesla. They'll just make it easy for you. Heck, the guy told us that day he was taking a trip to Galveston to drive a family back up in the Sprinter because it was more affordable. In general, Elite Rides DFW has just proven to be cheaper than your other rideshare services, and it's you know what it is? It's elite. It really is.
You should check out eliterides-dfw.com. Promo code is DZ15. You get 15% off your first ride when you book via the website or their phone, 844-RIDE-DFW. Definitely try it out. 844-RIDE-DFW.
There you go.
Or eliterides-dfw.com.
Here's Jake with the Dumb Zone News.
All right, well, it was a big weekend for news, and a lot of that's going to come to us from the world of the politic. But we're going to start with a couple of other local-ish stories here. The 2024 State Fair of Texas has officially come to a close. 2.4 million folks attended the State Fair. That is a record.
And 1 out of 4 of those ate a corn dog.
On average, yes, that's correct. But when I go to the State Fair, I'm eating for, I guess, what would be, I eat 3. I'm a 3 corn dog guy.
3?
Yeah.
Well, per visit?
All at the same time?
Yeah, I just slam 3 huge corn dogs in my mouth.
You look like that guy in the Guinness Book with like 300 cigarettes in his mouth.
We used to call that the harmonica.
Yeah, the cigarette harmonica.
He would get like a dozen cigarettes, just smoke down the line. He was
You ever get scared
Arlo
on the Ferris
Guthrie
wheel?
or something. Yeah. I did the one at Disneyland recently, and it freaked me out a little bit. But we made sure to get into one of the ones. They were every other, and every other one of them didn't rock. And my daughter was not about to get in one of the ones that rocked. And I was like, yeah, are you sure, babe? I'd totally do that. And
Yeah, and you're thinking, yeah, dude, I don't want to.
yeah,
It's too scary up there, yeah. It's real high.
it is very high. I'm less scared by that than I am big roller coaster, though. Or fair roller coaster, for that matter. Somebody with chlamydia and crank in their systems just out there on...
Well, I don't like anything that, has just been erected. Except for my wiener. I love that. But,
Yep.
Just had to wait for it.
if you just have to build the roller coaster, bad bit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get on.
Here's a funny figure, Jake and Dan, Blake. 400,000 prizes were won at the Midway, totaling an estimated value of $1.4 million.
Yeah.
So,
Average prize.
street math says that's about a $3 prize
Yeah.
that you're spending. God knows how much profit they make off of those things.
Well, a big part, yeah. It's a roughly $3 prize that they had made by the Uyghurs in a sweatshop of a isolated area of China in a prison camp for 1 cent.
Think about the little kid that wins some stuffy at the fair and goes home and sleeps with it in their bed that night. Number one, it's the most cheaply made piece of crap, and God knows what harmful chemicals are just embedded into the outer covering of that.
That's how they got COVID
And
over here.
It was handed to you by Chlamydia Man.
Yep.
So there's probably traces of VD and crack
Mm-hmm.
in the fur.
Yep.
And it's been sitting out at the state fair for
Yeah.
a month.
I saw an ad for a politician that's actually they're putting fentanyl in the prices now.
Okay.
That's what they meant by rainbow colored.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, political ads up here are out of control.
Be swing state, brother.
Not just up there.
Well, up there it's a bigger deal. Here, we know
I
who's
mean-
winning everything here.
Yeah, but every commercial during Texas, Georgia was that.
They're ramping up, baby. We're just, a couple weeks away.
I'm going to vote today, Dan.
It's all about chicks with dicks.
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, no,
It's
that's
all about
that's every Ted Cruz ad is that. Like he just doesn't have a whole lot else to hit you with.
like they don't have anything that's like of substance. It seems
Right.
It's just all about, and it's pictures of dudes with makeup on. It's really funny.
Did anybody
But
catch
it's,
the debate between him and Allred, I guess?
Yeah, I
I
watched
watched
it.
a little bit of it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, Ted Cruz.
He thinks January 6th is hilarious.
Yeah, he's just laughing
Hilarious.
the whole time.
The whole time, yeah. Anytime Colin Allred would bring up Jan 6, he just over there just laughing.
It's untouchable.
It's so
So
funny.
shout out to the State Fair. There was a big fight last night I saw on Dallas, Texas TV, so we could close things out. That's solid. Last night, yeah, we got it up here now. It appears to be people getting food, and we just have two broads. I love when broads fight because of the hair grab. It's basically like a built-in hockey jersey. Like for the hockey jersey fight, you can just grab by it.
People just
And you're
watch.
generally going to just let them fight it out, right?
Yeah, very, very seldom do you see
Like,
the
I'm not
fight really
giving them
broken
that.
up. Like that guy's kind of there, but he's like, I'd really prefer if this keeps going on. They're always
Yeah.
they're usually pretty big.
The ladies?
Yeah.
Typically, yeah.
Powerful base.
I scour the
I always
internet for
I-
these.
I do also love that there's always a stroller nearby.
Whose baby is this?
Right.
The best is when the hair gets so taken up a notch when the weave comes out.
Yeah, the weave will come
and
out.
they're holding it like it's a scalp.
Yeah. Good
That-
times
the
out at the
best.
State Fair.
That girl that got her ass kicked, unfortunately, she was dressed to like look cute, not fight. She's in
Yeah.
a cardigan sweater,
Right. Little
slippers.
Jimmy Eat World concert look.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not how she
She's got-
thought her night was going to end up.
Let's do one more here. Follow up.
But
We don't really have
congrats, Danny. Your fair traffic is over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ended
back to
last
normal.
night.
Yeah.
I was in it, though, a little bit yesterday.
This actually started about 90 minutes ago. Robert Roberson is testifying virtually before state lawmakers. This is the man that was set to be put to death last week.
I respect that you're staying on top of this story.
It's insane.
This is called tracking the news.
It's crazy. And every one of the stories, they try to get the angle of what you got. So usually what you'll get, you call SMU or you call UT or sometimes UNT or UTA, and you're like, I got to get an expert on this. This is political science professor Jim, blah, blah, blah. In this one, everybody they talk to is like, we don't know. This has never happened before. They've never had this wrench thrown into things to try to stay in execution. By the way, that's on the list.
Stay
the wrench?
in execution.
Yeah. Well, he was set to be put to death.
Last week.
The parole board denied it, and they denied it not really on the merits of his case, but it was some sort of procedural thing. And there's a law in Texas, the junk science law of 2013, that states that you should be awarded a retrial if you were convicted on evidence that is now viewed as like arcane. Like we don't use, stick your hand in hot water to determine if you're a witch anymore. Like that's a real thing. You don't know about that?
I thought it made you pee.
Oh, yeah, I guess like
And if it makes you pee, then you're
a
a
witch. That's
Oh,
right.
okay.
But they're supposed to be looking at this science that was used to convict these people and say, you got to get a new trial. Well, for whatever reason, they've never done it for someone who is going to be put to death. They've only used it for people who are getting life or like very long sentences. And so the only person, from what I gather, that can really stop this is Greg Abbott. And so what it sounds like is that all these lawmakers in Texas, these legislators, both Republican and Democrat, are throwing any Hail Mary they can to get as much attention on this thing as possible so that Greg Abbott eventually will be like, hey, I'm going to take a look at this. I was going to try to do a Greg Abbott, but I don't really know what he sounds like other than just the most generic human being of all time.
I think he's kind of whiny.
He does
I'm
have
Greg
a little
Abbott.
bit of a, that's
Is that right?
that's
That's what I assume.
approaching. So he's got to testify like he's in court, but in front of all of the Texas House today. And then what
The death
happens?
row
I don't
guy.
know, because they only they just delayed it by 30 days. So he's still set to be
Right.
hit with the cocktail in like
When
25
he's
days.
done with his subpoena and his testimony, do they just like walk him to the giant wooden chair with straps?
No, that doesn't exist anymore, and it was a 30-day stay. So he does have a few more weeks for something to happen, but
Yeah, what do you do? Is he close to the end of a book?
right. Yeah. That's tough, yeah.
Should I start
You don't
another
start
one?
a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a PR in mind for like bench or something. And he's like, I'm pretty close.
Maybe you should just read a leaflet and not try to crack open like Infinite Jest, Dan. That's a big book.
All right, we had a very eventful weekend on the campaign trail, and most of it comes from the Donald Trump side. One, because he's Trump, and two, because I'm not really sure that Kamala Harris is doing anything. But it was insane. There's so much here. He worked at a McDonald's because Kamala has said that whenever she was the summer before or after her first year of college, she worked at a McDonald's. And they haven't really offered a ton of details about it, but she has a family member that says, yeah, I remember that, and a friend who says they remember it. But if you're trying to get employment records from 40 years ago, 42
turnover
years ago,
that they have,
it's probably going to be pretty difficult.
Yep.
But again, so this is like the focus. We're going to focus on this, though.
Right. It's just
Not
like the
some
birth
policy
certificate.
or an issue that would help, make your life better, perhaps.
Oh, no. No.
Let's focus on this. Okay.
So Trump's bit was that while he was in Pennsylvania, he would go work at a McDonald's so that, quote, there's at least one member in the race who has.
Okay.
Meanwhile, North Korea is aligning with Russia,
Right.
about to bring soldiers into Ukraine. But no, we need people proving that they're the ones that worked at McDonald's.
Yeah. So he goes to the
I
McDonald's.
love this country.
Yeah. He goes to the McDonald's and he walks in. Of course, we know he loves McDonald's. It's his favorite restaurant. So much so that he always has it on the plane. And when Clemson won the national title, he served them. Now, this was a bit unstable, but he served them, McDonald's, but also Wendy's. And I want to say like KFC.
It was it was the Jim Miller I-30 fast food buffet.
That's right. That's right. Or like Dan, he was a good dude like Dan does for his family. Goes to multiple fast food restaurants. Like, I like the fries from this place, the shake from this place, and the chicken sandwich from this place. And it
But
looked
also-
disgusting because the half-life of that stuff is like, eat it right away.
Yep, doesn't travel.
It was
well.
all fast food. It was every fast food place that there is. And
God, they're all in suits.
Oh, look how gross.
the other
that
thing
looks.
about it is these guys these days, like my daughter was saying this to me, because she works for now Clemson football and
Yeah, they don't
prepares
eat that.
meals every
They
day.
ain't eating that
No.
crap.
They are not eating this stuff anymore. Like that used to be, when Dirk was coming into the league. That's when 18-year-olds were still eating like this. 18-year-olds now have been training to get into the NFL and whatnot. And yeah, they're eating like LeBron meals. They're eating like Tom Brady now.
Yeah.
They don't eat this stuff. They do not like, oh, yes, fast food. Great. This is what I love. No, they're not pounding fast food. They're eating protein shakes and salmon, and that's what they were hoping to get. You go to the White House, I want some salmon. I want some prime rib.
Yeah, I mean,
And they got
it's
Burger King.
it's funny too because they
BK broiler.
might eat. That's the best photo ever of Trump. Him just looking at all his spread. They might eat it occasionally, Dan, but they definitely don't expect, like you said, that's what they're going to get for winning the national championship.
right.
Do you
They
remember?
would be like if they said, yeah, let's wear our shorts and sweats now. No, they put on a suit. They want suit food.
He's really in touch with what the kids are eating these days.
do you guys remember his tweet about it?
No.
It
Vaguely.
was great being with the national champion Clemson Tigers last night at the White House. Because of the shutdown, I served them massive amounts of fast food. I paid over 1,000 hamburgers
Oh, is it hamburgers?
within 1 hour.
Yeah, hamburgers.
All gone. Great guys and big eaters.
Hamburgers.
I am interested in
Why can't you
the
edit
Twitter
tweets?
influence.
What do you mean?
Are you on the election? Because the Republicans now would look back and say, "Oh man, they were so liberal before, and they weren't allowing us to say this and that." That was, they influenced the election
Yeah.
by Donald Trump when he was saying stuff about January 6th, and they were like, "Yeah, that's not right. We're kicking you off here." They're like, "Oh, that influenced things," although that was well after the election.
Hamburgers.
Yeah, you're
But
saying now. Yeah.
I'm just saying, whenever I click on a video, if I click on the video to watch Jameis complain about the Cleveland fans, like immediately after a Republican
Without a doubt.
ad comes up.
Yes, without a doubt.
Like it just happened. It automatically, no matter what video I click on or whatever, the next thing is like an ad or an Elon thing or something. So this is clearly, I mean, the other thing was kind of like could you argue they were trying to influence it? Maybe, but like this is like overtly, hey, the owners of this are all just pushing you in this one way.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see if that, has any effect or not.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how much of an effect it has. It definitely has an effect.
Yeah.
It just might not be enough to sway an election one way or the other. But hell, I mean, I haven't read that much about it, but I'm pretty sure Elon's out here committing like felonies by offering people money to sign a petition to say that they're going to vote a certain. Hell, I don't.
Yeah, there's like a sweepstakes that if you vote a certain way, then you could win $1 million.
If you're in a swing state.
Yeah.
Like, I've always thought that was.
I thought it's funny that
Yeah, I'm in a
Trump.
swing state.
You are.
I thought it's funny that Trump qualified. Like it's a big deal that he paid when every one of those restaurants has a 99-cent menu.
Yeah, it's like, oh, awesome, dude. Like, aren't you a billionaire? So he was at McDonald's over the weekend while he was in Pennsylvania. And what's weird is like he's this hardcore McDonald's fan, but also a hardcore clean freak. Like he's an ultra clean freak guy. And so,
is he? Okay.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. Like the guy's a giant pussy. You know what I mean? Like he's never done any sort of like work. You know what I mean? Like he's a kid from Manhattan, or grew up in Manhattan anyways, whose dad was a mogul. It ain't like he's out. His hands have never been dirty in his life. So.
Well, I'm relating to a lot of what you're saying.
Yeah, I know, but so are you.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But you also just eat salmon.
Freak.
You eat
Doesn't want to do
salmon
anything.
and broccoli and apples and water, and you know what I mean? Like you're a healthy person. Even when you go to Taco Bell, I want the black bean. Like you eat healthily. Trump eats Big Macs and fries for all the time. And
Does he
drinks
really?
10 Diet Cokes a day. Yeah, and
How is he 78? If that's really what he's
he's a
lived off
specimen,
of,
baby. And
That's
he's
crazy.
got the good drugs. But okay, so he's at McDonald's. I could not find the one quote I really wanted because he does this thing sometimes where he doesn't say the word "the." And in this case, the news article read that he went in and said, "I want to work fryer." Because he does that sometimes. He's like, "You see truck, big truck." You know what I mean? Like he just leaves out, you see these trucks. He'll say, "I saw a truck." And then he walked in and was like, "Where is it? I want to work fryer." So he was working the fryer. And then they show him, he's got his apron on. And he's all spilling out of it because those things are hard to hide under. And they're trying to fill the fries up, and he's scooping them, and the guy's kind of talking him through it. And I thought this was funny.
Well, this is a great job to take at the beginning, and it requires.
That's funny. That part's funny too, because he's like, "But if you stick with it too long, you're a loser."
Well, this is a great job to take at the beginning, and it requires expertise. I'm going through the French fry stuff. It's a whole big process, and it requires great expertise actually to do it right and to do it fast. Yeah.
You appreciate McDonald more now. You appreciate McDonald more now that you've worked here.
Well, I do appreciate it. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, you take it for granted. You say, "Give me French fries." I'll never forget this experience. Okay. Now I know how to do it, and it's very good. But you know what? It's beautiful. It's clean. It's really nice. You never touch them. I always figured somebody stuffs them in with their hand, and I don't like that. And they don't do it that way. You never touch them. It's really great. So I want to thank you all for coming out.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Don't even touch him.
He's never worked a day in his life.
Oh my God. It's such a great
It's
stunt.
so
too, though.
funny. How can you not laugh at this, no matter who
Yeah,
you want to
you
vote
have to.
for? It's great.
Okay, so while he was in Latrobe, which apparently is the birthplace of one Arnold Palmer,
Mhm.
the golfer, the legend, Rolling Rock. There you go.
The Latrobe Brewery and
Trump, as we know, as he's just talking about what big guys the Clemson team is, and there was a governor from West Virginia named Jim. I think his last name also started with a J, but it's failing me now. But the guy was massive. He was like 6'6", 320, and I would always wait for Trump to go to West Virginia because Trump was obsessed with this guy. He's like, look at him. Look at Big Jim. He's a big man. He's so big. Look at him. Look at Big Jim.
Jim
He's
Justice?
Jim Justice. Look at the guy. He's a
Yeah, he's a big
massive galoot. And Trump just sees like big guys and he's like, that's awesome. It's awesome that you're huge. He's obsessed with masculinity, right?
yeah.
So here's his Arnold Palmer.
Like Jerry and
Exactly, McCarthy.
But Arnold Palmer was all man, and I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women.
All right, what does that mean?
Jeez.
You can be all man and not be disrespecting women. It's a weird thing to say, but also I love women.
The way he says
But
it.
Arnold Palmer was all man, and I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women. But this guy,
they applaud that.
this is a guy that was all man. This man was strong and tough, and I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God, that's unbelievable. I had to say it. We have women that are highly sophisticated here.
What?
I don't
he
even
had a
know.
big wiener.
Yeah, he was
What are you saying?
slanging.
He had to.
What?
He wasn't
highly-
going to, but he ended up having.
I
to let
refuse to
everyone
say
know
it, but Arnold Palmer had a huge cock.
Highly sophisticated women.
Yeah.
They don't like a big throbbing
get it.
golf dick. It's so ridiculous.
What the hell?
But I would say that for me, that was not the highlight of the Trump campaign trail this weekend. Because the founder and owner of hashtag CTESPN, 6th round draft pick, Antonio Brown, has jumped on the Trump train, along with his former teammate who wrecked Blake's fantasy football season, Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell posted a photo of himself wearing a T-shirt that said Trump or the Tramp over the weekend, which is much more like something you would see on a huge sign in my neighborhood than I would expect an NFL player to be wearing. But in any case, because the Trump team, really the Republicans have suffered from this for a long time, although it hasn't really hurt them that much. But there's not that many cool people, famous cool people who want to be Republican. It's like, oh, you got Kevin Sorbo, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Chachi.
Yeah, it's Scott Baio,
Kid
Rock. It's like, what if we have like George Clooney and Bruce Springsteen on the other side? Like, they don't have a ton of them coming out for them.
Right.
So when they do, they got to
just
capitalize.
accept whoever.
They have to.
Right? Yeah,
And
like
especially
because they would never like Antonio Brown.
no. But the
They
thing
would have
is,
hated him.
he's not just cool to some people. He's black. And this is a joke we make with one of my buddies all the time. With KJ, we're like, dude, there's a lane for you. Like, if you just want to play this grift, you know, you're a well put together guy. You're very successful professionally. There's a spot for you if you wanted a Fox News lane. So I don't know that Antonio Brown's going to get that. But once he started tweeting about how much he loved Trump, I'm sure someone from their campaign and comms reached out to him. And somehow they had this guy who is barely a functioning human being anymore. His brain is so gone. He's got, you know, the 6 babies by 5 women. I'm pretty sure Vontez Burfict broke his brain 10 years ago. He just rambles and says sometimes hilarious but really weird stuff on Twitter. They had him speak. So here he is speaking at a Trump rally. I got a few cuts here. He's working in some of the Trump nicknames. And if you guys remember his catchphrase, it was businesses. Like, you don't remember?
No.
Business is booming. That's what he would always hashtag all of his highlights with. He'd be like, with AB, business is booming.
But before I get too deep in my speech, I want to say, I know the media is going to call me crazy, me and Trump crazy for having me speaking here. But I want to make this clear. We are not. They are.
Okay, that was our first please clap, followed by really weird laugh. There's a lot of please claps in here.
They are.
Supposed to clap or...
You know Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, do you really know they want to put tampons in the boys' bathroom? Is that crazy? That's really insane, right? And by the way, tampon Tim Walz,
Yeah.
he isn't a real football coach. He could never guard me. Guys, how is business? Business will be booming going against Tim Walz. Tampon Tim Walz. It'd be really booming going against him. Now back to the rest of my speech.
Yeah, before we do that, let's just take a minute here.
Is that a good point? If your coach can't guard you,
Yeah.
I would hope.
Were any of them good points?
That's like the most cringe stand-up bit that
It's
I've ever
very hard to
heard.
listen to. I mean, he sounds mentally disabled right now.
Is he reading?
I don't know that
gotta
that's
be.
still something that he's capable of doing.
He's trying.
Yeah, it does sound very much like the Floyd Mayweather Stars and Stripes promo for the Breakfast Club. And did you know it? Tampon Tim wants to put tampon in boys' bathroom.
Can you believe it?
Boo. Here's a very awkward please clap.
I came to Pittsburgh as a 6th-round draft pick and underdog, but the people in the city really embraced me. They knew what it was like to be an underdog. My time here taught me to embody the spirit of Pittsburgh, a blue-collar, hard-working with people that are resilient and face challenges head-on.
How bad is that? That is a very long hang time. A more weird laugh here.
And speaking of pushing forward in a better future, we are here to support our 45th president, soon to be the 47th president, Donald J. Trump.
Why is that funny?
All right, this is 30
That's sad.
seconds of the most. It is kind of sad.
Yeah.
But this is 30 seconds of one of the most confusing diatribes I've ever heard. I guess, like Trump sells coins and stuff.
Uh-huh.
MAGA coins. Maybe there's like an actual crypto. I have no clue what's going on, but I don't think Antonio does either.
With Donald Trump, we will strive as a nation.
What? Scribe?
Wait.
We're all going to turn
Start
into
over.
writers?
We will what?
Yeah, it's kind of a Jameis.
Strive?
It's kind of a Jameis. If I'm strong, he's strong. Or if you strong, I'm strong. But
With Donald Trump, we will strive as a nation.
he's going for strive.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
With Donald Trump, we will strive as a nation. A MAGA movie. You guys ever seen a MAGA movie? Well, today is a
All right, so
Who's that? Who's this hype man?
I think he has.
have.
I
Let's
think he has
go.
one guy there who kind of was somewhat of his handler or set this up, who knows when to like respond in the way that Antonio Brown was like. That's when a black guy would
Yeah.
respond to me. Yeah, but the rest of the crowd's like, "What the hell's going on?" I have, yes, sir.
You guys ever seen a MAGA movie? Well, today is a MAGA movie theater. And shout out to MAGA, the MAGA coin, and the greatest president coin going, a MAGA coin.
What, is there
Have
another
you guys
one?
ever seen a MAGA movie? Make some noise if you've seen the MAGA movie.
What is happening?
I told you, dude. It sounds like they just got a special needs person up there and handed him a couple of index cards and were like, just to say some of this, it won't matter. Have you guys ever seen a MAGA movie? MAGA coin, MAGA movie theater. it's
What are the odds? Let's put some odds on the next guy to join the party. Deshaun Watson?
Nah, I doubt it.
Just the next
Yeah.
celebrity out of nowhere that you wonder, because it can kind of get him some play. I don't know what that means. I
Yeah.
don't know. You can go to the mailbox and get your play money.
I You know, we already have like your Max Crosby and Gardner Minshew, but those were easy plays. Like those guys.
Yeah,
you see that
just
from
the
a mile
next
away.
person to emerge and be at a rally. Like, oh, look, they got guy that brandished a weapon at the
That's
St. Louis parade or whatever. Like all of a sudden he's at the rally.
Yeah. Here's the last one.
I was blessed to be surrounded by these values, including grit, loyalty, hard work, and I took these with me every time I laced them up and stepped on the field.
The same one.
But I'm here today representing a man who carries those same values. Donald Trump.
Just had no idea. Just no idea when to clap.
Well, when you hear Donald Trump, that's a good cue.
Yeah. There's your news for today, Blake.
The Dumb Zone.
I feel sad.
Why?
Like,
Listening
to him,
that.
it is kind of
Yeah.
sad.
subscribe.
Yeah.